Hi friends, welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about what happens when our thoughts bully us, because everybody, literally everybody, has been bullied by their thoughts. And what do I mean by bullied by their thoughts? Well, I mean that we all have thoughts that aren't nice and aren't pleasant and aren't helpful. And they come in and they tell us stuff about why we should be insecure, why people don't like us, why we should be self-conscious, why we should doubt ourselves, what we're doing isn't right, we should be doing something else. And the thing with that variety of thought, that kind of insecure, kind of icky feeling thought, is that that feeling is designed to tell us something. And it's contrary to what many of us think. So many of us think that those thoughts are indicating something wrong in our lives. So we wouldn't get insecure thoughts if we didn't have something to be insecure about. Or we wouldn't have a thought tell us something about ourselves unless that's an actual problem we have or issue that we need to look at. And that's simply not true. Thought just comes. All human beings get thought just showing up, giving us an experience, and leaving. And it does this over and over and over and over, like a never-ending river. And in the flow of the river, some thoughts are wise, helpful, inspired, creative, fun, loving, caring, connected, and they just feel good. They just feel kind of neutral, kind of common sense, just they're pleasant to have. And these are the thoughts that when we follow, tend to work out really well for us and others. And then sometimes in the river flows thoughts about insecurity and doubt and anxiety and depression and how we should be better, and just any kind of variety of thought like that, dissatisfied, that falls into that category as well. And that thought's not telling us that we actually do have a dissatisfying life. It's not telling us that we have a reason to be anxious. It's not telling us that we have something to be insecure about. It's telling us that we're a human being having a thought-created experience in that moment. And the thing when thoughts bully us and try to convince us that, we're awful or our lives are awful, everything sucks, we suck, all of those thoughts that don't feel good when we take them seriously are meant to wake us up to the fact that we don't want to be taken that seriously. Because in this river of thought that we all get, there are varying levels of clarity and not clarity, and varying levels of helpfulness and not helpful, and varying levels of it tends to be aligned with our true nature, and it tends to be heavily distorted and not at all aligned with our true nature. And although there's no control over what comes into the river ever, just stuff is going to show up. When you know that, okay, insecure thought is going to show up because I'm a human being, and it doesn't mean anything about me, it doesn't mean anything about my life, it's not personal, it's not meaningful, it's not important, then you don't have to be bullied by your thoughts, even when your thoughts are being a bully to you. Or said another way, just because you have thoughts that are mean, don't feel good, make you feel bad, make life look bad, make a situation look, way more grim and bleak and despairing and hopeless than it actually is, doesn't mean you have to take it seriously. We're always getting new stuff in the river. Our perception is always shifting. Our perspective is always shifting. Our minds are always shifting. And when we know that, it's like we can still have all of the self-conscious, insecure, dissatisfied, anxious thinking and know that we don't have to take any of that seriously. Know that we don't have to take it to heart. We don't have to buy into it as if it's something actual and real and true. We just see, oh yeah, that's what happens in the river of life sometimes, is we get that variety of thinking. So knowing that that thought, the presence of that thought, isn't indicating something to be insecure about, you actually being the type of person who should be self-conscious, you having something in your life that is making you anxious. It doesn't mean any of that. It means welcome to the human condition. And when we see that, then we naturally are not going to let thoughts bully us the same way. Not because we're controlling or doing something or managing or manipulating the thought, but because it can flow through us and we kind of know it doesn't mean anything. So instead of, really taking it on board and really letting it kind of be a guide to information about our lives, we just see, oh, that's not a guide to anything other than the fact that I'm a human being who thinks and who has thinking brought to life, same as everyone, and who lives in a temporary experience of the mind. And when that shifts, as it inevitably does, we get something new. And the river flows a lot more easily and gracefully and beautifully when we just let it flow without taking what's in the river to be true and serious and meaningful. And so if you have thoughts that are bullying you, that's okay. But understanding what they are and where they come from will naturally give you a different relationship with it. And in that different relationship, you see that you don't have to be a victim to what your thoughts tell you, because it's simply not true. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll be back with you guys next week. If you like these videos, please subscribe so you'll get the notification as soon as they're out. And leave me a comment below. I love hearing from you guys. If you have any questions or comments, just pop them below and I will get back to you. So until next week, take care.